What is the hardest thing an Olympic gold medalist can do after reaching the top? It's not winning again. It's teaching someone else how to win. On April 28, 2026, during their retirement press conference in Tokyo, Ryuichi Kihara quietly said something that completely changed how many fans viewed the future of Japanese pair skating. "We want to create a system where children in Japan can take their very first step into pair skating without having to leave the country." Beside him, Riku Miura nodded softly before adding, "When I first started pair skating, there wasn't a single pair coach in Japan. That's why I had no choice but to go overseas. I want to change that." The moment those words were spoken, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Not because it sounded emotional, but because hidden behind those simple sentences was a massive problem that Japanese figure skating has avoided talking about for decades. Even after winning Olympic gold, the reality of pair skating in Japan remains incredibly fragile. There are not enough coaches. There are not enough training environments. And most importantly, there are not enough male skaters willing or able to enter pair skating. Those three problems feed into each other endlessly, creating a cycle that has trapped Japanese pair skating for years. Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara managed to escape that system once as competitors. But the system itself still hasn't changed. And that's why their real battle may only be beginning now. Please stay with me until the end of the story, because retirement was never the ending for Rikuryu. The challenge they are preparing to face now may be far more difficult than anything they experienced on the ice. There is a massive difference between winning a gold medal and building future gold medalists. And right now, the two of them are standing directly in front of that impossible gap. To understand why this matters so much, we first need to understand the structural problems inside Japanese pair skating. Japan is one of the world's greatest figure skating nations. Legends like Yuzuru Hanyu dominated the Olympics, while Kaori Sakamoto conquered the world stage. But pair skating was always different. For decades, it remained a wall Japan simply could not climb. And the reasons were complicated. The biggest issue was the severe lack of male pair skaters. In pair skating, men must lift, throw, and support their partners with incredible strength and stability. While Japanese men's skating has always been world-class technically, almost every talented athlete stayed in singles competition because there was no clear future in pairs. There was no support system, no coaching pathway, no stable environment. And because there were so few male skaters, pairs could barely form in the first place. Without pairs, there was no need for coaches. Without coaches, there was nowhere for children to learn. Without young skaters entering the discipline, the cycle repeated itself again and again. It became an endless maze with no exit. At the retirement press conference, Ryuichi summarized the crisis in three simple words: lack of training environments, lack of coaches, lack of male skaters. Three problems tied together so tightly that Japanese skating struggled for years to solve any of them. And somehow, against all odds, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kahara escaped that maze and reached the very top of the world. But the maze itself still exists. So what are they trying to do now? The answer comes in two stages. The first stage has already begun. As professional skaters, they plan to travel across Japan and personally introduce the beauty of pair skating to fans who have rarely had the chance to experience it properly. Kahara explained it this way: "During our competitive career, we didn't really have many opportunities to show pair skating to Japanese fans inside Japan. Most of the time it was only through small skating classes or limited exhibitions. We want to change that now." And they're already moving forward. From July 31st to August 2nd, 2026, they will produce a brand new ice show in Tokyo called Destiny. But this isn't just another skating show. Kahara described it as Japan's first major ice show focused primarily on pair skating and ice dance. For the first time, Japanese audiences will experience the true speed, scale, danger, and beauty of elite pair skating on a full-sized competition rink designed specifically for those disciplines. And fans already know this is something historic. Ticket demand is expected to explode. But that's only the beginning, because the second stage is where the real battle starts. Coaching, academy development, and building an actual future for Japanese pair skating. During a retirement conference, representatives connected to the Kimoto Group revealed plans to eventually create a third skating academy together with Ryuichi, potentially Japan's first major academy focused specifically on pair skating. This isn't just a dream. The organization already has a proven history of producing elite athletes. But there's one massive obstacle standing in front of everything.
Time.
Incredibly, under current regulations, it may take 4 to 5 years before Ryuichi Kihara and Riku Miura can officially obtain the coaching qualifications necessary to fully lead the next generation.
Why?
Because certification seminars are only held once every 3 years. That means 2 Olympic gold medalists who want to immediately begin developing future champions may be forced to wait until around 2030. Think about that for a second. World-class athletes are ready to help children now, but bureaucracy could delay them for years. And during those years, how many young skaters might give up on pair skating before they ever begin? When I first learned about this reality, it honestly felt shocking. But Kahara didn't sound angry. He sounded determined. There are still things we can do within the rules. I want to keep studying coaching. That single sentence says everything about who he is. Instead of fighting the system emotionally, they are choosing to move forward step by step. Perform in shows. Spread awareness. Study coaching. Prepare the academy. Build slowly for the future. It's an incredibly realistic strategy, and honestly, only 2 people who survived the impossible journey from Japan to Canada and eventually became Olympic champions could probably understand how to approach this challenge so calmly. What makes their story so powerful is the reversal of history happening in front of us. Once upon a time, there were no pair coaches in Japan. Now Ryuichi wants to become those coaches themselves. Once upon a time, Japanese skaters had to leave the country just to seriously train in pairs. Now Olympic champions are trying to create an environment where children can stay home and dream bigger than ever before. Once upon a time, nobody imagined Japan producing pair skating gold medalists. Now, those same gold medalists are trying to create the next generation. And if that cycle is completed, Japanese pair skating may finally change forever. Because this second battle will determine everything. Was Ryuichi's gold medal simply a miracle that happened once? Or was it the beginning of an entirely new era? That answer hasn't been decided yet, but the fight has already started. If you want to seriously pursue pair skating in Japan, you still have to leave the country. That was the painful reality Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kahara were talking about, and honestly, more people need to understand just how heavy those words truly are. Because chasing the dream of pair skating in Japan has never been simple. It means needing foreign language skills. It means needing money. It means needing parents willing to send their child overseas. And only the few children fortunate enough to meet all those conditions are even allowed to continue chasing that dream. That's not an open door. That's a privilege reserved for a very small number of people. And that's exactly what the Ryuichi Academy hopes to change. Their dream is to create a future where every child in Japan can step into pair skating without first needing to leave their home country behind. To understand how massive that goal really is, we need to compare Japan with the world's strongest pair skating nations. Russia was once the absolute king of pair skating. Legendary coaches built generation after generation of champions, and eventually those same skaters became coaches themselves. That endless cycle of knowledge is what created Russia's dominance. China developed pair skating through national-level programs that systematically discovered and trained young talent from an early age. Canada, where Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara spent 7 years training in Oakville, has multiple cities with specialized pair skating coaches and facilities designed specifically for the discipline. And Japan? No coaching system, no proper facilities, no institutional support. And yet, somehow Ryuichi has still reached the top of the world. But that victory was not created by Japan's system. It was created by 2 individuals who forced their way through the cracks of that system and built everything themselves. That difference matters more than people realize. A victory created by a system can be repeated. A miracle created by individuals usually cannot. And that's why what Ryuichi is trying to build now is so important. They aren't just trying to inspire children. They are trying to create a system capable of reproducing miracles. When talking about the future academy, Ryuichi Kihara explained that he wants to pass on much more than technique. I've suffered many injuries myself. I want to teach children about nutrition, mental strength, and the reality that technique alone isn't enough to win. That sentence becomes incredibly powerful when you remember their Olympic journey. During the short program in Milan, mistakes happened. Technically, it wasn't perfect, but what carried them through that pressure wasn't technique. It was trust. It was the strength of the relationship between Miura and Kahara, the ability to support each other after mistakes, the ability to rest when injured instead of forcing their bodies further, the ability to survive years of pressure and loneliness while living overseas. Those are not technical skills. Those are emotional and psychological strengths built over years together. And in the biggest moments, those invisible strengths are often what decide victory and defeat. That's what the Ryuichi Academy hopes to teach systematically. Not just how to skate, but how to survive. At one point, Riku Miura made an astonishing statement about the future. One day, I dream of our students completely dominating the podium. The first time I heard those words, honestly, they sounded almost overwhelming. Dominating the podium means Japan controlling the top positions in world pair skating, something that still sounds impossible today. But then again, back in 2019, if someone had predicted that a Japanese pair team would someday win Olympic gold, people probably would have called that impossible too. And Ryuichi made that impossible dream real. That's why their new dream doesn't feel like fantasy anymore, because their words now carry proof behind them. But eventually we have to confront the biggest question of all. Can their second battle actually succeed? My answer is yes, but only under one condition. Japanese figure skating itself must support them. The Skating Federation must actively remove the bureaucratic barriers, slowing down coaching certification. Sponsors and organizations must invest in developing male pair skaters. And the Ryuichi Academy cannot be left isolated as some independent side project. It has to become part of Japan's entire skating development system. If that happens, their second battle may become even more historically important than winning Olympic gold itself. But if those conditions are not met, then Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara will once again be forced to fight alone. Just like before. Just like when they built themselves into world champions without a proper system supporting them. Could they still succeed? Honestly, probably yes. After all, they already accomplished something people once thought was impossible. But asking two individuals to carry the entire future of Japanese pair skating by themselves again would not be a sign of a healthy sports system. And that brings me to the most important message in this entire story. Ryuichi's gold medal inspired Japan. But inspiration alone changes nothing. History only changes when inspiration becomes action. The real question now is whether Japanese figure skating will transform its admiration for Ryuichi into actual support for the future they are trying to build. Because this is no longer only about two skaters. It's about whether an entire country is willing to help create the next generation. Even international media has started recognizing the scale of what they're attempting. One report described it perfectly. Miura and Kahara are not simply retiring. They are beginning a new chapter that could transform Japanese figure skating for generations to come. And honestly, that may end up becoming their greatest achievement of all. ESPN once wrote something unforgettable about Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. The most important thing they will ever do might not be the gold medal. It might be what they do next. And honestly, after hearing everything about their new dream, those words feel more true than ever. Canadian broadcaster CBC described their journey with deep emotion. They came to us as seekers. They leave as champions. And now they go home to become something even greater, teachers. That line hit me hard, because it perfectly captures the transformation of Ryuichi's story. They first arrived in Canada searching for a future, searching for coaches, searching for a place where pair skating could survive. But now they're returning home not just as Olympic champions, they're returning with the hope of building that future themselves for the next generation. Even outside Japan, the skating world understands how significant this second battle could become. Korean sports media made a fascinating observation. Japan's rivals did not disappear. They went home to create even stronger rivals. That perspective is incredibly sharp. The young Japanese pair teams developed by the Ryuichi Academy could someday compete directly against Korea, China, Canada, and the rest of the world at the very top of international skating. In other words, the world isn't simply watching two athletes retire. They're watching the possible birth of an entirely new pair's skating power. French newspaper L'Equipe wrote something equally beautiful. Their greatest program is now Japan itself. Think about that sentence for a moment. For years, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara performed programs on the ice for audiences around the world.
But now,
their next performance may be much larger than any Olympic routine. Now, they're trying to choreograph the future of Japanese pair skating itself. And honestly, there's something breathtaking about that idea. Chinese media has also reacted seriously to the Academy project, warning that if the Ryuichi Academy succeeds, Japan could eventually become one of China's biggest future threats in pair skating. That matters, because China understands pair skating better than almost anyone. If Chinese media is already taking this project seriously, then it proves this isn't just a sentimental retirement dream. People around the world can see the potential. And back in Japan, fans flooded social media with emotional reactions. When Riku said she dreams of her students dominating the podium someday, I started crying again. If anyone can really do it, it's those two. The federation seriously needs to rethink the coaching certification system. If the Ryuichi Academy opens, I want my child to join. I'm a single skater, but after watching Ryuichi, I want to try pair skating. That last comment may be the most important of all, because it means the change has already begun. Even before the academy officially exists, even before the coaching system is ready, even before the first lesson is taught, their story has already inspired at least one young male skater to imagine a future in pairs. That is the first real victory of Ryuichi's second battle. Their gold medal created the dream. Their academy vision is beginning to turn that dream into reality. And if that chain reaction continues spreading, the future of Japanese pair skating could change forever. But maybe the most emotional part of this entire story is looking back at the road they themselves traveled. Riku Miura first stepped onto the ice at 5 years old. She trained her mentality through karate, endured the heartbreak of partnerships ending, gathered the courage to contact Ryuichi Kihara, survived 7 long winters in Canada, overcame the devastating pressure of Milan, delivered a world record free skate score of 158.13, retired at the very top of the sport. And now she's trying to turn the rocky road she walked herself into a smoother road for the next generation. Meanwhile, Ryuichi Kihara battled repeated injuries, experienced broken partnerships, risked everything on one final chance, continued skating while knowing the end was near, broke down emotionally after the short program, delivered a historic free skate afterward, cried again during the retirement press conference. And now he wants to pass every lesson forward. The injuries, the mental battles, the nutrition knowledge, the emotional experience, everything. This is no longer just a sports story. It's a story about what happens when people achieve greatness and then decide not to keep that greatness for themselves. Instead, they choose to turn it into a gift for the next generation. And honestly, that may end up impacting far more lives than the gold medal itself ever could.
So, what do you think?
How do you feel watching Ryuichi begin this second battle? And when you look at your own life, have you ever seen someone take the difficult road they walked themselves and try to make it easier for the people coming after them? Because maybe that's the real meaning of legacy. By the end of this story, one thing becomes clear. The story of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara did not end on the ice in Milan. The gold medal was only the prologue. The real story may just be starting now.